Stuck at home? Make the most of the internet with NordVPN. As you're trying out new apps to save you from boredom, NordVPN will make sure that your data is always protected. And you can still travel, well, virtually, by connecting to VPN servers in almost 60 countries. Up for a new gaming challenge? Make sure that cyber threats don't get in your way. Feeling curious? Access the news from all over the world firsthand. Get the app now. NordVPN. Online security starts with a click.
Guess what day it is? It is Tom Macdonald's drop day. And I am looking forward to it more than anything in the world to be able to do the reaction with you guys right here, right now. To those of you that don't know, I am that 90s kid. We will be reacting to one of the greatest artists of our generation. The man speaks nothing but the truth. People may hate him for it, people may love him for it, but you know what? He's unapologetically him. Without further ado, let's get into it. But first, if you could do me a favor, hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell up at the top. That way you will be notified when I drop new content. Also, I have joined up with NordVPN to have them be an affiliate. I'm going to put in all of the links below in the description box. I've had NordVPN many times, and it is by far one of the best VPN services out there. 100% privacy. It comes with a whole bunch of different, I guess you could say, software or apps, one of the two, that come with it, including NordLocker and NordPass. Now, NordLocker is like a place you could put files and things that you don't want people to look at. And NordPass is a place that holds all of your passwords so that if you need them, you can just log in and then they're there. Well, with that, let's get into this thing. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to reacting to it with you guys. All right? Ready? Let's go.
They're angry that they'll never shut me up. I'm making more noise. Turn me up or turn me down, it's your choice. Black lives only matter when they got a corpse to exploit. Cause the media made millions off the protests for George Floyd.
Right off the bat. Come out swinging. Oh, man. He's 100% right, though. I mean, the government uses any and all excuse that they can in order to get more money from us, the people. As if taxing us isn't enough. Look at what happened with the whole Black Lives Matter thing. I mean, everybody gave all this money to Black Lives Matter, and then magically all that money just disappeared. And then if you do any kind of actual research on it, you'll note that all of the founders of Black Lives Matter are all white people. Bernie Sanders, the Clinton Foundation, all of them have their noses and hands in that cookie jar. And I want to say the leader or the finance manager or whatever that had something to do with it, somehow $65 million just disappeared from the fund. And she's living in a huge house in like the Caribbean now. So I mean, corruption at the highest level when it comes to the Black Lives Matter movement and the government in general, because it's awe-inspiring how blind people have gotten when it comes to that stuff. Well, let's get back into it.
Cause the media made millions off the protests for George Floyd. That's called ad revenue. They make cash selling you all the crap in the ads while they broadcast news. Ooh, the network full of liars got investment capital and segments sponsored by Pfizer and the freedom fighters.
Fact. 100% fact. Like, the more and more we learn about the origins of, the more it doesn't make sense. Like the lab in Wuhan, the money that went into gain-of-function research into that lab, where it came from, who funded it, all of that stuff is now coming out. And even things like Pfizer, they tried to seal the documents of all the side effects of the jab for 75 years. And the court said, no, you're going to release it now. And now you look across the entire nation and you got all these people that have the jab and have all of these side effects. And it's like they took themselves off of the public market and put themselves in the private market so that they can't be held responsible for any and all sicknesses, illnesses, disabilities that come from reactions to the jab. How people are still going out and wanting to get it is beyond me. Like I never got it, and I am very proud to say that, because it is an awful thing. This is the thing you got to remember, is we've been looking for a cure for cancer for like 60 years, still got nothing. But somehow in less than a year they came up with a just make it all go away, like unicorns and lollipops. It's absolutely asinine if you think about it. Like, who bought into that? They didn't have enough time to test it. They didn't have enough time to do any kind of research on it. They just were like, ship it. And now everybody that got it is paying the price.
Network full of liars, got investment capital and segment sponsored by Pfizer. And the freedom fighters, I feel like the left just plants them to infiltrate the right. It's extensive planning, then it happens overnight. It's impressive branding, make $1 million off of shirts that say let's go Brandon. It's a cash grab.
That's fact. That is fact. There are so many companies that are funding the DNC, that are making products, making memorabilia, making all of this money off of the Let's Go Brandon stuff, basically the Joe Biden hate merchandise is what I'm getting at, right? Joe Biden stupid merchandise, which, I mean, to all of us, do we really need a shirt or a pair of pants or something, or shorts? Or, I mean, I've got a hat, but that's just because I had it given to me. But even hats that say stuff like that, knowing full well that those hats were made by companies that either funded the DNC or gave money to a candidate for the DNC. So it's like, what do? I say you just use your common sense, know that Biden's an idiot, and move on with your life. There's nothing he's doing that's right. Nothing. And if you think so, you broken, bruh.
Make $1 million off of shirts that say let's go Brandon. It's a cash grab, everyone's a lab rat. Amazon made billions of dollars from sanitizer and black mass, and that's that. Funny how the terrorists who had tag always come from places that are oil rich and have gas. Democrats, they don't give a damn. What is this about? Our military trapped in the Middle East, can't get them out. Heroes are the ones who had the Constitution written down. Y'all are using hero while describing Kyle Rittenhouse. 1 cent, 2 cent, 3 cents for.
That's true. That's 100% true. Everybody's calling Kyle Rittenhouse a hero and blah, 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 blah. But he's not really a hero. He was just doing what he had to do to survive. The whole Kyle Rittenhouse case was just a Democrat's plea to try and blame guns again for everything, when they are a tool. That's it. They are a tool. Like, blaming guns for murder is like blaming forks for making you fat. You can kill somebody with a fork. You can kill somebody with a gun. Which one's more readily available? Said fork, knife, or gun? Forks and knives, I would say everybody has in their house, but doesn't think of them as assault weapons. But in fact, if you can hurt somebody with it, which is everything, then it's assault weapon. So they're dumb. They're just dumb on a whole new level, right? They're like tie your shoes by YouTube video dumb.
We get less and they get more. By insult since we were born. They want money. We want dirty dollars fill their pockets while our coffins fill the ground. They make profits solving problems they create to keep us down. Dirty money. Dirty money. Me for the song, it's all classified intelligence. Don't need to go to war to secretly be getting benefits. When Russia launches rockets, we condemn them, but there's evidence a U.S. politician owns the screws they're assembled with.
Facts! Oh my god, facts! How like the Russians, the Iranians, the North Koreans, all of them supplement their products from other countries, right? So when they're building their rockets, when they're building things to use against the United States, they're using the raw material from stuff that they bought from us or bought from other countries. Does that make sense? Like when he says the screws are for the rockets, 100%. Yeah. Yeah, we definitely made those at some point. It's ridiculous. The steel that goes into them was probably made in Pittsburgh because it's older steel. Like, come on. Especially if it came out of like the 60s with the Russians, where they've just upgraded their arsenal off of old equipment. That steel was definitely made in Pittsburgh or somewhere close.
It's when Russia launches rockets, we condemn them, but there's evidence a U.S. politician owns the screws they're assembled with. Ain't no war on drugs, it's economic. You make money off an inmate, every jail cell is profit. Our prisons are privately owned, illegal marijuana just mean kids smoking weed, turn the dollars in their pockets, let's be honest.
Boom. I said that since the first time I heard about the Democrats trying to make marijuana legal, right? For the longest time, the reason they didn't make it legal wasn't because of the addictive, or not the addictive, but the I guess you could say like the inebriation factor, right? It was more because they didn't have a way to tax it. They didn't have a way to tax it. So by making it legal and opening up dispensaries, they have a way to get the money back into their pocket. It's a whole big thing. Like, it's a whole big corrupt world out there. If you just open your eyes and do some research. And this whole fentanyl thing coming across the border, do you understand what's really going on? We are being invaded right now by cartels, by terrorists, by people that want to do harm to our nation, people that hate us. They're bringing these people across the border like candy from the Easter Bunny. You understand? Like, and the government isn't doing a damn thing about it. And here's why. It's because every illegal that comes across the border, they try and give them things so that they could then vote in our elections. That's why they tried to pass that bill last year that would allow illegal aliens to vote. Doesn't it kind of sound like pandering to their cause? They're trying to give them like $250,000, almost $500,000, $450,000 each family. I fucking live here. I could use that money, but no, we keep sending it to places like Ukraine and Saudi Arabia for gender studies. I mean, you're taking the money from us and giving it to things that we did not agree to. It's like, you understand that we are in charge of our own money. We don't have to pay you taxes. We pay them because we want things like the strongest military in the world, like our schools to be able to teach our children. We want security of our country, right? We don't want to send our money to all these different far off nations that want to fucking kill us. Why? Why are we still doing it? I know why. It's because money goes into the pockets of those politicians that support doing things like that. Like, look at Biden. He took millions from the Chinese and just thought, nobody will ask about it. And then everybody found out about it, and there's still nothing being done. Yet Trump gets a clerical error, and they're trying to put him in jail. Guys, wake up.
Privately owned, illegal marijuana just mean kids smoking weed, turn the dollars in their pockets, let's be honest. Domestic threats in comparison to nuclear powers who hate the West is embarrassing. Still we label truckers in the convoy as terrorists and confiscate donations, we have no idea where it is. A pipe.
Oh, that pissed me off. That pissed me off. You had all of these truckers going to make a statement. The fact that all of these laws and regulations that the government and California and other states that are super blue are trying to put forth is making it so the trucker of old cannot do their jobs anymore. It's forcing them to buy newer trucks. It's forcing them to take less loads because they can't go into California or they can't go into Vermont because of the EPA standards or emission standards. Like, what are you supposed to do? That pissed them off, so they wanted to talk about it. But here we've got the Biden administration putting up blockades across states to keep these truckers out of the Capitol. Are you freaking kidding me? Like, we saw what happened to him up in Canada when they did that shit. That shit was working. And then freaking Joe's homie up there, instead of coming out and talking with them and figuring out like a common ground, he just cut off all their bank accounts and just talked shit about them on the media and made them sound like terrorists. And even Biden is classifying them as terrorists. Are you freaking kidding me? We're not terrorists. We're just realists.
Still we label truckers in the convoy as terrorists and confiscate donations. We have no idea where it is. A pipeline leaks, price of gas goes higher, stock market.
Biden blew that pipeline for sure. He didn't want the reserve of oil getting to us, making costs of gas cheaper. He did not want that.
Crash, everybody gets fired. Economy is weak while we trying to beat a virus. $1 trillion in debt to China. We celebrate the smallest battles we're winning so they can publish the headline that's gonna fuel the vision. But if we champion the crumbs, then it's crumbs that we're given. And we don't make any progress, we're stuck at the beginning. 1 cent, 2 cent, 3 cents, 4. We get less and they get more. By insults we were born. They want money. Dirty dollars fill their pockets while our coffins fill the ground. They make profits, solving problems they create to keep us down. Dirty money.
Those of you that aren't listening to his lyrics really need to pay attention because he's laying it all out there for you. Everything that is going on right now, which you guys used to call conspiracy theories, are 100% accurate. We're batting 1,000 right now on conspiracy theories. Seriously, get off your ass and take a look outside. Quit living in that bubble of a TV screen that's run by MSNBC, CNN, Fox. All of the different media outlets are all run by the same propaganda machine. So you've got MSNBC and the New York Times all ran by Democrats, right? So they're just trying to feed the flames of division pushed towards the left. And then you got Fox, who's going directly against what CNN says, trying to feed this narrative to the right so that we continue to stay divided. When in actuality, what we need is a middle ground that we can all come to and talk about our problem. Enter Elon Musk and Twitter. Elon Musk bought Twitter because he was tired of the left's monopoly over the First Amendment. So he bought Twitter. And guess what? All of the left media went after him. Calling him crazy, calling him blah, 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 this, that, and the other. You're calling that crazy? Really? The guy who created the first electric car? Mass-produced electric car, I should say. You're calling that guy crazy? Why? Because he doesn't agree with you? Come on, man. That's bullshit. That's kid shit. Knock it off. Get over it. And then it was like they forced all of the people that were on Twitter to leave and go to different channel or different apps and different social media sites because somebody who is middle ground now owns Twitter and is going to release it from the jail of the First Amendment. Like, it is ridiculous. Let's get back at it.
They make profits, solving problems they create to keep us down. Dirty money. Dirty money. I don't want your dirty money. Money, 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 money. Not enough soap to scrub, it's soaked in blood. It's all about the money, 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 money.
That's fact. That's fact. Not enough soap to scrub the blood off of the government's hands, and even our hands, by second hand. We as taxpayers are paying the government who then use our money to go fund the murders of millions of people across nations that we don't even live in. And then they turn around and use that same money to create a sickness that kills billions across the world. Do you get it now? Our government is not for us. They are for them and them alone. This is what they want. And we keep giving it to them. We need to stop, really reflect on what we're doing, and then make a decision from there. I mean, it's like he said, we don't want your money. We want war. And if it comes down to it, if you're taxing us too much, way too much, which you already are, if you're not giving us the respect that we have earned as citizens of this state, this republic. By the way, that's the other thing. They keep calling our country a democracy. It is not a democracy. It is a republic. Quit calling it a democracy. If we could just come together and figure this shit out, we could work together to unseat the trash that's in our government, right? Get rid of all the people that don't actually side with us, right? Doesn't matter your creed, race, gender, sexual orientation, doesn't matter. We all need to get over that, come together, and let's do something about it. If not, it's just going to get worse. They're just going to divide us more. And by the end of it, we will be at civil war. I don't want to be at civil war with anybody. Do you guys? I would rather spill my blood going against tyranny. And that's what we're faced with right now, is absolute tyranny. Financial, emotional, our children are being harmed. All of the stuff doesn't make any sense if you really sit down and think about it. So we need to do something about it. We can't rely on the government ever. What did they do to keep us quiet? They just gave us $1,400 every few months to keep us quiet. So we didn't say anything or ask questions. I mean, come on. We pay taxes all year round and you give us some pocket change back? What a joke. Let's move on.
It's soaked in blood. It's all about the money, 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 money. Every time we make a buck, they take from us. It's all about the money, 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 money. The dollar runs our lives until we die. It's all about the money, 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 money. It controls your mind and they controlling mine. Dirty dollars fill their pockets while our coffins fill the ground. They make profits, solving problems they create to keep us down. Dirty money. Dirty money. I don't want your dirty money.
Another banger video coming from Tom Macdonald. Banger video. Like, this dude can drop truth bombs on you like nukes. Like, this dude is a whole nother level when it comes to speaking his truth. There are not a lot of artists out there that can verbalize what's happening to our nation as well and as fluently as Tom Macdonald does. The way he puts everything makes all of us look stupid for going along with it. I mean, that's facts. It's not something we can dispute. It's not nothing. It's all them with their dirty money, which was a great name for this song. What we get out of it is next to nothing. Like, how many people do you know right now that are living paycheck to paycheck? Because gas is too high, food is too high. We can't afford to go anywhere or do anything. That is slavery. If we only have enough money to get us to and from work every day and not go anywhere or do anything on the weekends, that's slavery. That's literally what the left is trying to fight and publicize, is want everybody to know about slavery, but they don't know anything about slavery. Like, for this instance, when they talk about, and this is going to get me in a lot of trouble, I already know, and if you guys don't like it, I'm sorry, but it's facts. Every person in the world has dealt with some kind of slavery in their past. Every person. I'm Irish Catholic. My people were under British rule and were taken as slaves to the British and were taken as slaves to other countries. When we got to America, we were still treated like garbage, right? If you go and look online, they had signs that said Irish no need apply, Catholics no need apply on businesses that were hiring. So what happened? We then had to go out and build our own little parts of cities so that we could have a place that we felt comfortable, felt safe in. Does that sound familiar to anybody? So we all have had our ancestors' blood draped in slavery, in this great big bubble called slavery. I mean, the Chinese were slaves during the early Americas. The Indians were slaves during the early Americas, but nobody talks about them. Between 1975 and 1980, in Cambodia, they were under the rule of somebody or a occupation force called the Khmer Rouge. That was a totalitarian entity. They went around killing everybody. I mean, if you could read, if you were a doctor, if you were a singer, if you wore glasses, if you were a librarian, anything that had anything to do with being well educated, they would kill you. No reasons, just come up and kill you, because what they wanted to do was take everybody that was in Cambodia back to a farming state where all they did was farm. That was it. I know this because my wife is Cambodian and my mother-in-law and father-in-law went through that. They've told me stories about it. It's absolutely terrifying. My great-grandmother on my mother's side, or on my wife's side, she had 8 brothers and sisters. She only knows of 2 of them that survived, killed the rest of them. Her father starved to death, yet nobody's talking about that. Like, there is horrific things in this world that nobody knows about. Everybody's just so caught up in this left versus right narrative that nobody is actually doing any research. Please, if you learned one thing from this video today, is open up a history book. Every tyrannical government dating back to the Roman legions and the emperors of Rome and even the pharaohs of Egypt, they have like literally a checklist of things that meet the criteria of tyranny. And guess what, guys? We're like on the 6th one on that checklist. I mean, how many more little checks are we going to give them before we're like, that's enough? This has got to end. Are we going to let them take our guns away before we hit that critical point? We're going to let them alter the Constitution? They're trying, but we keep just kowtowing to what they want because we don't want any trouble. I mean, is it going to take somebody stacking up on your door to take away your kids because they think they should be learning something that you don't? I mean, is that how far we're going to have to get? Somebody going to have to come onto your property, shoot your dog, and then break into your house and take all your guns, scare the shit out of your family? That happened. If you guys didn't do any research, that literally happened. So what is it going to take? How far are we going to let them go? All right. Well, with that, I'm going to let you guys go. I hope you guys enjoyed the reaction. If you did, please leave a comment down below. Let me know if you absolutely hated it. If you thought my rationality was completely and totally BS. I want to hear it. I want to know where we all stand, right? Well, at least of the people that watch my videos. I love you guys. I really don't want any problems with any of you. It's just one of those things that it's like my First Amendment rights do not stop where your emotions start. I can say what I want, do what I want, when I want. That's the best part of being American. And your hurt feelings are on the bottom of my list of things that I give a shit about. All right. Well, we will see you guys later. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, check out NordVPN. They are absolutely amazing. And we will see you guys later. Hope you have a good one. I love you. Bye.